In today's fast-moving world, filled with constant distractions, pressures, and uncertainties, the timeless wisdom of Stoicism can offer us practical tools to navigate life with resilience, clarity, and peace of mind. Over the next few minutes, I want to dive into the 15 principles of Stoicism that I believe can deeply transform the way we live in 2025. Imagine for a moment how different your life might feel if you could wake up each day with a clear sense of what truly matters, unshaken by external events and driven by your own values and intentions. That's the power Stoicism can offer, and it begins with mastering yourself. Number 1. Focus on what you can control. Let's start with the first principle. Focus on what you can control. If there's one thing that defines life today, it's uncertainty. Whether it's global events, the economy, or even personal relationships, there are countless variables in life that we simply cannot control. How many times have you felt stressed, anxious, or even helpless because of something happening beyond your power? Perhaps you've worried about what someone said on social media, or about the unpredictable outcomes of your hard work. This feeling of powerlessness can drain our energy and make us feel stuck. But here's where Stoic wisdom comes in. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions, our attitudes, and our choices. Imagine a ship in a storm. The waves and wind are outside the captain's control, but how she steers the ship is entirely up to her. Likewise, in our lives, while we can't change the storms that come our way, we can steer our reactions, and this makes all the difference. This isn't just about passively accepting things, it's about refocusing your energy on the things you can influence. Think about the conversations you have, the work you do, the goals you set. These are within your control. By narrowing your focus to what's actionable, you not only reduce stress, but also increase your effectiveness and peace of mind. Number 2. Practice gratitude. Next, let's talk about gratitude. In 2025, it's easier than ever to get caught up in comparison. We live in a world where social media constantly shows us the lives of others, often polished to perfection, which makes it hard to appreciate what we already have. But here's the truth. Comparison is a thief of joy. Stoicism teaches us that the path to contentment isn't about having more, it's about wanting less. When you stop and practice gratitude, really pause and reflect on the blessings you already have, you shift your focus from scarcity to abundance. No matter what challenges we face, we can always find something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the roof over our heads, the meal on our table, the friend who listens to us. It could even be the lessons learned from hardships, the personal growth that came from a difficult situation. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. Studies in modern psychology confirm that it rewires our brains for greater well-being. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They believed that by regularly reflecting on what we have, we train ourselves to live with appreciation and happiness in the present moment, instead of chasing an elusive future. So today, take a moment to express gratitude for the small and big things in your life. It's a habit that can profoundly transform your outlook. Number 3. Embrace discomfort. The third principle is embracing discomfort. In today's world, we are often conditioned to seek comfort and avoid pain. We have apps that deliver food with a few taps, technology that reduces effort in almost every area of life, and entertainment to distract us at every corner. While convenience is a gift, it can sometimes make us complacent. Stoicism, however, teaches us that true growth happens outside of our comfort zones. This principle is especially relevant today because we're often shielded from discomfort by modern technology and conveniences. But the Stoics believe that voluntarily facing challenges strengthens our character and resilience. When you embrace discomfort, whether by taking on a difficult task, stepping into a challenging conversation, or simply pushing yourself physically, you're training your mind to handle adversity with grace. It's important to remember that discomfort is temporary, but the growth that comes from it lasts. Think about any significant achievement in your life, whether it was graduating, getting a promotion, or overcoming a personal struggle. It likely came with its share of discomfort, didn't it? But on the other side of that discomfort was something invaluable. A stronger, more resilient version of yourself. So, as you navigate your days, don't shy away from discomfort. Embrace it as the training ground for your future self. Number 4. Live according to your values. The fourth principle is living according to your values. Today, we're constantly bombarded with messages telling us how we should live, what we should want, and who we should be. It's easy to get swept up in trends, social expectations, or even the opinions of others. But Stoicism calls us to a higher standard, living a life aligned with our core values, rather than bending to external pressures. Living according to your values means identifying what truly matters to you and acting in alignment with those principles, regardless of the circumstances around you. It could be integrity, kindness, perseverance, or honesty. Whatever your values are, let them guide your decisions. In a world full of distractions, staying grounded in your values gives you clarity and purpose. Think of it this way: your values are like a compass, and no matter what storms you face, they'll always point you in the right direction. When you live according to your values, you live authentically. You don't have to chase validation from others, because your sense of worth comes from knowing that you're acting in alignment with what's important to you. Number 5. Practice mindfulness. The fifth principle is mindfulness. In 2025, we're more distracted than ever. Our attention is constantly being pulled in 100 different directions. Emails, notifications, social media, endless to-do lists. It's so easy to go through life on autopilot, rushing from one task to the next without truly being present. But Stoicism reminds us that life happens in the here and now. Mindfulness is about staying present, fully engaged in whatever you're doing, whether it's working, having a conversation, or even relaxing. Mindfulness doesn't mean you have to meditate for hours a day. It simply means being fully present in each moment. If you're working, be fully focused on your task. If you're spending time with loved ones, be fully there with them, not distracted by your phone or your thoughts. By practicing mindfulness, you increase your sense of fulfillment and reduce stress because you're not constantly worrying about what's next. In today's world, being mindful is almost a superpower. It allows you to cut through the noise and focus on what truly matters. When you're mindful, life becomes richer, and you become more connected to the people and experiences around you. Number 6. Develop emotional resilience. The sixth principle we'll explore is emotional resilience. If there's one thing we can all agree on, it's that life can be unpredictable. You might have a plan, a vision for how things should go, but then something comes along and disrupts everything. In moments like these, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, to let emotions like frustration, anger, or sadness take over. Stoicism teaches us to strengthen our emotional resilience by accepting challenges as opportunities for growth. The Stoics believe that adversity isn't something to fear, it's something to embrace, because it's through hardship that we develop the strength of character. Think about it this way: just as muscles grow stronger when pushed through resistance, our emotional resilience grows when we face and overcome challenges. In 2025, emotional resilience is more important than ever. With the constant flux of world events, personal challenges, and social pressures, we must cultivate the ability to remain grounded in the face of adversity. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means learning to respond rather than react. By practicing emotional resilience, you empower yourself to navigate life's storms with calm, clarity, and strength. Number 7. Use negative visualization. Now, the seventh Stoic principle may sound a little counterintuitive at first. It's called negative visualization. In our modern culture, we often focus on positive thinking, and while optimism is important, the Stoics suggest we occasionally consider worst-case scenarios to prepare our minds for adversity. This doesn't mean being pessimistic or dwelling on negative thoughts. Instead, negative visualization is a practice of mentally preparing yourself for things that could go wrong. It's about building psychological resilience by confronting potential difficulties ahead of time. Imagine this. Before a big meeting, instead of obsessing over it going perfectly, you take a moment to consider what might go wrong. If a piece of technology fails, or if someone disagrees with you, how would you handle it? By visualizing these possibilities, you're less likely to be thrown off if things don't go as planned. In today's world, where unexpected challenges seem to appear around every corner, this practice helps you build a mental buffer against stress. By imagining potential setbacks in advance, you're preparing yourself to stay calm, adapt, and maintain control over your responses when things don't go as expected. Negative visualization doesn't make you a pessimist. It makes you ready for anything. Number 8. Practice self-discipline. The 8th principle is one we all know the importance of but often find difficult to maintain. Self-discipline. In our modern age, distractions are everywhere. From the constant ping of notifications to the endless stream of content competing for our attention, staying focused and committed can feel like a never-ending battle. But here's the truth. Without self-discipline, it's nearly impossible to achieve lasting success or personal mastery. Self-discipline isn't about depriving yourself of enjoyment. It's about committing to the things that matter most, even when it's difficult. It's easy to feel motivated when things are going well, but true discipline kicks in when the initial excitement fades. It's what pushes you to stick to your goals, even when the distractions are strong or the path seems long. For the Stoics, self-discipline was a cornerstone of their philosophy. They believed that mastery over oneself was the highest form of freedom. In a world where it's so easy to give in to instant gratification, practicing self-discipline allows you to stay focused on your long-term goals. Whether it's committing to daily habits, staying true to your values, or working toward personal growth, self-discipline is the engine that drives sustainable success. Number 9. Cultivate inner peace. The 9th principle is perhaps one of the most elusive yet deeply rewarding aspects of Stoic philosophy. Cultivating inner peace. Today's world can often feel like a chaotic whirlwind of responsibilities, pressures, and endless demands. We're constantly connected, constantly busy, and it's easy to feel like we're always running on empty. Amid this external chaos, Stoicism reminds us that true peace comes from within, not from our external circumstances. But what does it mean to cultivate inner peace? For the Stoics, it wasn't about escaping the world or avoiding responsibility. It was about developing a mindset that allowed them to remain calm and centered, no matter what was happening around them. This inner peace comes from knowing that you are in control of your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. It comes from accepting that, while you cannot control the outside world, you can always control how you respond to it. In 2025, where the pace of life seems to be faster than ever, cultivating inner peace is more important than ever. It's about finding stillness in the noise, learning to let go of things that don't serve you, and staying connected to your core values. By regularly taking time for reflection, mindfulness, or meditation, you can strengthen your ability to maintain calm in the face of life's inevitable turbulence. Number 10. Let go of ego. Finally, let's talk about the 10th principle, letting go of ego. In a world driven by competition, social validation, and the pressure to constantly project success, the ego can often lead us astray. We become focused on how we're perceived, what others think of us, and how we measure up to societal standards. But Stoicism teaches us that the ego is not our friend. It is often the source of suffering and distraction. The Stoics believe that by letting go of ego, we free ourselves from the constant need for approval, validation, and comparison. When we let go of ego, we focus on our true purpose, our values, and our internal growth, rather than being distracted by external recognition. This isn't about diminishing yourself. It's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to what others think or say about you. In today's world of social media and constant public scrutiny, this principle is more relevant than ever. The desire for likes, followers, or external validation can cloud our judgment and distract us from what truly matters. By letting go of ego, we free ourselves to live authentically, to pursue meaningful goals, and to find contentment from within rather than seeking it from outside sources. Number 11. Accept mortality. The 11th principle is one of the most sobering yet powerful aspects of Stoicism: accepting mortality. In today's world, death is often a taboo subject. We avoid thinking about it, speaking of it, or even acknowledging its inevitability. Yet the Stoics believed that regularly contemplating death was essential to living fully and purposefully. Why is this? Because when we confront the reality that life is finite, we begin to appreciate the time we have. Accepting mortality doesn't mean living in fear of death. It means embracing the present moment with greater awareness and urgency. When we remember that our time here is limited, we're less likely to waste it on trivial matters, petty conflicts, or unimportant pursuits. Instead, we prioritize what truly matters: our relationships, our values, and our personal growth. In 2025, this principle is particularly relevant. In a world where we're constantly rushing from one task to the next, consumed by the noise of daily life, taking a moment to reflect on our mortality reminds us to slow down, be present, and live with intention. By accepting that life is temporary, we free ourselves to live more fully in the here and now, appreciating every opportunity and moment that we have. Number 12. Embrace impermanence. The 12th Stoic principle is closely related to accepting mortality, and that is embracing impermanence. One of the greatest sources of stress and suffering in life comes from our desire to hold on to things, whether it's success, happiness, relationships, or material possessions. But Stoicism teaches us that nothing lasts forever, and that impermanence is a natural part of life. In today's world, we often chase stability and permanence, whether it's in our careers, our financial status, or even our emotional state. We want things to remain comfortable and predictable, but life is anything but constant. Things change, people come and go, and circumstances shift. The Stoics remind us that resisting this truth only creates unnecessary suffering. Instead, we should embrace the ebb and flow of life. By accepting that everything is temporary, both the good and the bad, we learn to let go of attachment and live with greater freedom. When we face setbacks or losses, we can remind ourselves that these moments, too, will pass. Likewise, when we experience success and joy, we can savor those moments without becoming overly attached to them. In 2025, embracing impermanence allows us to move through life with grace, adaptability, and resilience, no matter what changes may come. Number 13. Practice compassion. The 13th principle is one that touches on our relationships with others: practicing compassion. In an increasingly divided and polarized world, it can be easy to become defensive, judgmental, or indifferent toward those who think, act, or believe differently than we do. But Stoicism teaches us to view ourselves as interconnected with all of humanity. We are all part of the same human family, and as such, we have a responsibility to approach others with kindness and understanding. Practicing compassion doesn't mean ignoring injustice or allowing ourselves to be taken advantage of. It means recognizing that every person, like us, is fighting their own battles, facing their own challenges, and navigating their own struggles. When we practice compassion, we step outside of our own ego-driven perspective and see the world through the eyes of others. In 2025, when social and political tensions seem to be at an all-time high, compassion is a powerful tool for bridging divides and creating a more empathetic world. Whether it's with friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers, practicing compassion allows us to build stronger connections and contribute to a more harmonious society. Remember, as the Stoics believed, we're all in this together. Number 14. Seek wisdom over opinion. The 14th principle is one that feels especially relevant in today's information-saturated age. Seek wisdom over opinion. We live in a time where everyone has an opinion, and with social media, those opinions are often amplified, creating noise that can drown out what truly matters. But the Stoics believed that wisdom, timeless, grounded knowledge, was far more valuable than fleeting opinions. Wisdom is not simply about acquiring information. It's about understanding life's deeper truths and applying that understanding to how we live. It requires discernment, knowing how to sift through the endless flow of data, news, and opinions to find what is truly meaningful and useful. In 2025, where we're bombarded with conflicting viewpoints and sensationalized headlines, seeking wisdom means prioritizing knowledge that helps us grow, that aligns with our values, and that supports our journey towards self-mastery. The Stoics valued the pursuit of wisdom as a lifelong endeavor, and they understood that true wisdom comes from reflection, learning, and experience, not from the loudest or most popular opinions. So as you navigate your daily life, ask yourself, am I seeking wisdom or am I being distracted by mere noise? Number 15. Live with purpose. Finally, we come to the 15th principle, perhaps the most important of all. Live with purpose. Stoicism teaches that a meaningful life is not measured by external achievements or material success, but by living in accordance with your higher purpose. For the Stoics, this meant understanding what truly matters to you, your values, your goals, and your role in the world, and living every day with those guiding principles in mind. Living with purpose is about more than just setting goals or achieving success. It's about knowing why you're here and what impact you want to make on the world. It's about waking up each day with a sense of direction, knowing that your actions, however small, are contributing to something greater than yourself. In 2025, with all its distractions and pressures, it can be easy to lose sight of our purpose. But living with purpose keeps us grounded and focused. It gives us the strength to endure challenges, the motivation to push forward, and the clarity to make decisions that align with our values. Whether your purpose is to serve others, to create, to learn, or to grow, embracing this principle will lead to a more fulfilling and rewarding life. As we conclude our exploration of Stoic philosophy, we now have a full set of 15 principles to guide us toward a better, more meaningful life. By accepting mortality, embracing impermanence, practicing compassion, seeking wisdom over opinion, and living with purpose, we cultivate a mindset that allows us to master ourselves and face life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and peace. These principles, though ancient, are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. Stoicism reminds us that we have the power to shape our lives through our thoughts, actions, and attitudes. By committing to these practices, we can navigate the complexities of 2025 with grace, strength, and clarity. Thank you for your time and for your openness to exploring these ideas. I hope that as you leave today, you feel inspired to integrate these Stoic principles into your own life and continue on the path of mastering yourself, one step at a time. Thank you.